Hey, Kristen, good morning. That's right. Money and relationships can be a tricky combination. And a very new Bankrate survey shows that 40% of couples have dealt with financial infidelity, everything from secret spending to hidden accounts. And with Valentine's Day coming up, it's the perfect time to talk about money with your partner. Joining us now to share more tips on navigating finances as a couple is Bankrate's senior industry analyst, Ted Rossman. Ted, it's great to have you this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So let's just jump right into this conversation. I have to say, I've been so excited to talk to you about this. What would you say are some key benefits of the quote, yours, mine, and ours approach to managing finances in a relationship? And why do you think it's growing in popularity among younger generations?
This is the idea of keeping at least some of your money separate from your spouse. In fact, 6 in 10 people who are married or otherwise living with a partner keep at least some of their money separate. The key, though, is to be honest about it. So if you and your spouse agree that you each get a certain dollar amount or a certain paycheck or a certain percentage of every paycheck that's yours and yours alone, that's fine. We don't want to go into the secrets. I mean, that's the financial infidelity piece when people are truly hiding something. But more and more couples, especially young adults, are agreeing to keep at least some of their money separate. It gives people more independence. You feel like you have more say over your money. You can buy gifts without somebody looking over your shoulder. You can spend on hobbies and nights out with friends and feel like you're not subsidizing the other. Having some money separate fosters independence. You just want to be honest about how much money that is.
Now, Ted, with about 40% of adults in the United States and live-in relationships admitting to financial infidelity, what are the most common types of money secrets and how do these impact relationships?
Secret spending is number one, and that's followed by things like secret debt, secret credit cards, and secret bank accounts. The reason this is so important is, well, one, it can undermine trust, and that's really significant. Sometimes that actually ends up being even worse than the monetary side of things. The other part is the monetary side of things, which is, let's face it, it's hard enough to meet your financial goals when you're pulling in the same direction, and it's so much harder when people are each doing their own thing. I would urge people to have conversations with their spouse about money. And ideally, you're going to go beyond just the block and tackle stuff about, oh, what bills are due this month. Ideally, you're going to talk about money values and goals. And that's really what you want to achieve with money in the next few years. Buying a house, let's say, retiring early, helping your kids with college. When you frame it that way, it's not so much about a budget being a way to deny this purchase and that purchase, but rather, okay, where do we want to go? How are we going to get there? How can we work together?
And according to the data, about 88% of Gen Zers in live-in relationships keep at least some of their money separate from their partner. Do you see this as a positive shift toward independence, or does it raise concerns about trust and communication?
It can be positive as long as people acknowledge what's going into that separate fund. What we don't want are the secrets. Gen Zers are the most likely to be committing financial infidelity. They're also the most likely to say that financial cheating is at least as bad as physical cheating, which is interesting. So they're doing it more, but they also say it's harmful. A lot of young adults are having trouble meshing their money personality with someone else's because a lot of people are getting married later now. They have their own income. A lot of people are just kind of doing their own thing. And it is important to communicate and get on the same page because whether you decide to completely combine your finances or not, that's a personal decision, but you need to work together in some respects, and you need to find something that works for you.
And Ted, Valentine's Day is just over 2 weeks away. It's coming up very quickly at a time when couples are often feeling pressure to spend money on their significant others. So what are some of the tips that you have for open conversations about financial expectations while still celebrating the holiday meaningfully?
It's important to set that budget and figure out what works for you. A lot of people have credit card debt. Half of credit card holders, in fact. And this is the time of year that a lot of people get those holiday bills and they really want to prioritize debt payoff. I would say get a 0% balance transfer card. Avoid interest on those pricey credit card bills for up to 21 months. Maybe cut back on some discretionary spending. Don't dig the hole any deeper. Everybody's financial goals and situation are different, but those fundamentals include boosting your savings. I like the idea of transferring money automatically from every paycheck into a dedicated savings account. paying off debt, maybe with the help of a 0% balance transfer card, and just being really diligent about where your money is going. You want to carve out some fun money, but you want to make sure that you have a realistic budget. And really, the essence of personal finance is living on less than you make.
But Ted, it's not always about how much you spend. It's about the experience as well. I'm sure that there are many gifts out there. Making a breakfast in bed or a home-cooked meal at dinner time could make the day very special, don't you think?
Good point. Yeah, there are a lot of experiential gifts that don't need to cost a lot of money. I know it's winter, so it's trickier than it is in the summer when maybe it's easier to have a picnic in a park or go to a free movie or something like that. But yeah, there are definitely ways to have fun on a budget. People can get creative. That's one of the ways that you can use the internet and social media to your advantage, is kind of sourcing some of those fun ideas. Now, online can also encourage us to spend, and sometimes social media gets people into trouble. But yeah, there are definitely a lot of ways to have fun on a budget. A lot of people are interested in that sort of thing, especially now. The first quarter tends to be when a lot of people really buckle down and they try to pay off those credit card bills that they accumulated during the holidays.
Well, a lot to look out for. Thank you so much for joining us, Ted Rossman, Senior Industry Analyst of Bankrate.